Okay, boys, carry on. What you got there, buddy? Okay, come on. This is deep stuff. Oops, sinking. So it's, I'm not sure, 17th or maybe the 18th of April. Not that you'd notice it here. We've had snow started yesterday morning. As you can, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's still snowing. We've had at least 25 centimeters, probably a bit more. That's on top of probably close to 3 feet that was already here anyways. And I'm following what had been a snowmobile trail. They haven't been through recently, obviously, but it's about 10 inches deep on the trail here. That's kind of wet, sticky snow. So it's still pretty heavy trudging. One of the reasons I stay on logging roads, trails, snowmobile trails, and actually do a lot of travel around here in boats, canoes, is as you can see, here, let me turn here a bit. As you can see, this is boreal forest / taiga. The forest is extremely dense, and trying to bushcraft through there or kind of bust your way through there that'd be tough going. And then in the summertime, what little there is, there's a lot of spots where it's pretty damp. In some places, so much so that you can't kind of bushwhack your way through that either. So there's tens of thousands of square kilometers of land up here to use. But that's what it looks like, most of it. Pretty thick stuff. And speaking of thick, oh, there's the other one. Flint? That's a boy. Ready for some more? Okay, let's go find Casey. Come on, Meg. Actually, it's a good thing I enjoy winter. I certainly get plenty of it. But look at that. That's gorgeous. Way up. Trees are not that big here. They have an awfully short growing season. Mostly spruce, tamarack. Some people call tamarack larch. Some hemlock, some birch, and aspen or poplar. This is also in the summertime, aside from being as dense as it is with the trees, what weeds can get some sunlight grow up through here. And generally speaking, when you're walking around out here, you pretty much can't see your feet half the time. That's pretty. There we go. Now the dogs there are probably 10 yards in front of me. But even at that, even against the white snow there, if they're not moving, they're not that easy to see. The red one a bit more so, but they sure love it up here. We all do. Just to get an idea here, we look at the base of this tree. Now it's pretty thick with branches. I'm just going to get down here a little bit. But you can see the difference between the snow in the bottom there and the lip of the snow all around it. That's probably, well, might be 3 feet, 2.5 at least. But the snow on the bottom of there is still probably a couple of feet deep. So if you were to hack away some of those branches and make yourself a little cubby down there. Hello, Casey. And use some of those branches you cut off and sort of fill in the gaps. You could make yourself a fairly decent little shelter to get through the worst of it if you had to. It's not bad. I wouldn't say that it would be comfortable, but it would certainly keep you alive, especially if you had had a fire. Just kind of got to keep your eyes open. Those spots like that, well, just about every tree out here has that kind of thing. There's another one there. Actually, once you get into the bush there, and on a general rule, the snow is not even half the depth here. And then if you were to dig down a little bit again, you could pile up a pretty good windbreak of a wall just out of snow and branches. Would do the job. Now another thing to really keep in mind in this, I'm trudging through probably 25 centimeters of quite heavy, fairly wet, no, not wet, but heavy snow. Let's go. And that's hard work, especially for an old coot like me. And I'm working up quite a heat here. So what you want to make sure is that you don't get to the point where you're working up a big sweat, because that can be deadly. You know, no matter how well you are dressed, you get that layer of damp sweat against your skin, and then you stop. Or if you stop, even if you don't want to, for some reason you're injured or something, and you're not generating the heat from walking, you can sure freeze, and hypothermia will do you in a very short period of time. So as I'm walking here, I'm sort of loosening zippers and so on. I do feel that I'm getting a little overheated from the hike. Now I'm not terribly concerned, because I've only come about 1 kilometer from home. This is kind of my extended backyard. This goes, well, if I face sort of north here, that goes, well, kind of goes to the North Pole. You'll probably cross an old logging road, maybe 20 miles up through the bush. But as you've seen with how dense the bush is, that'd be a murderous hike. And there are any number of beaver ponds and marshes and whatever else in between here and there. I couldn't even imagine how many. So, I'll tell you, survival here is, you don't really think about it like you do anywhere. It's just home to me. But, if you're on a river and you get 20 miles up a river and your outboard quits or whatever happens, walking back that 20 miles, it's not the mileage. It's trying to get through it. That would be a terrible trip. And it's, there's only a couple hundred people in the entire county here, so, it's not very well populated. You're not necessarily going to have somebody come along maybe for a couple of days or more, or maybe a couple hours, who knows. But, just that's something that you got to keep in the back of your mind, and you don't want to go out anywhere here without at least a small pack with the basics, essentials in it. And you hope you never need it, but better to have it. It's always the way. We come out here pretty much every day. And I was thinking today, well, I shouldn't be long. I've got a couple projects at home I'm working on. Should probably get back to it. So I just bring a small pack for safety, and we come out for a few minutes. And about now, we've done about 1.5 kilometers. It's been, I don't know, a little over an hour maybe. And as usual, I'm thinking, boy, a billy pot and some tea would have been a fine idea. I'm not really thinking much about rushing back to do my projects. I'm thinking that maybe if I went back in a few days it would be better. Oh dear, never ends, eh? Well, I have to go back, unfortunately. So I might as well end it here, because anything beyond this, we're just kind of retracing our steps here. There's nothing much new for you to see that we haven't already passed. If anything exciting happens, I'll click it back on. Otherwise, take care. We'll see you next time.